Welcome to this deep dive, and we're going to be looking into some pretty cutting-edge research on mitochondrial myopathies.
Yeah,
We're really going to be exploring a potential new treatment avenue that's been getting a lot of buzz in the scientific community.
absolutely.
Are you ready to jump in?
Let's get to it.
Perfect. So to get started, let's meet Oscar.
Okay.
Just imagine struggling to walk even short distances.
Right?
Your muscles are constantly weak and tired, and this is the daily reality for Oscar, who was diagnosed with a mitochondrial myopathy when he was only 30.
Oh, wow.
This particular type is slowly progressing,
Mm.
which means it's a marathon, not a sprint in terms of managing the symptoms.
It really highlights the impact these conditions have on people's lives.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating is that researchers have been studying a mouse model with the same genetic mutation as Oscar.
Oh, wow.
They discovered that mitochondrial DNA deletions, those little glitches in the mitochondria's blueprint, build up over time. It's a bit like how our bodies age, but on a faster timescale.
Okay, so these tiny powerhouses in our cells start to malfunction,
Yes.
and it directly affects muscle function.
Correct.
I'm curious, what approach did the researchers take when they started looking for potential treatments?
Well, they focused on something called NAD+,
Yep.
which you can think of as a spark plug for your cells.
Okay.
It's crucial for turning the food you eat into energy you can use.
So without enough NAD+, our cells are essentially running on fumes.
Yeah,
What's interesting is that there are actually several forms of NAD+, each with its own quirk.
precisely. It's not just a one-size-fits-all situation.
Yeah.
And you might be surprised to learn that we can boost our NAD+ levels through different forms of vitamin B3.
That's where the idea of a potential treatment comes in, right?
Exactly.
Did the researchers simply supplement the mice with vitamin B3?
In the mouse model, they used nicotinamide riboside, or NR,
Yep.
to boost NAD+ levels. The results were quite remarkable.
Right.
They saw a significant increase in both mitochondrial mass and density, suggesting improved mitochondrial function.
So basically, they were able to beef up those tiny energy factories in the mice.
Exactly.
That's got to be promising for folks like Oscar, right?
Yes.
But I imagine they didn't just start giving people NR without testing it further.
You're absolutely right. When they moved to a pilot trial with humans, they chose to work with niacin, another form of vitamin B3.
Now, niacin is the one that can cause flushing, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Why would they choose that over NR?
Good question. Niacin has been around for a long time,
Okay.
so its side effects are well documented.
Hmm.
It's also known to impact various physiological processes, even at doses typically used for managing cholesterol.
Okay.
Importantly, they use prescription doses of niacin in this trial,
Okay.
meaning much higher than your average supplement,
Got it.
and under strict medical supervision, of course.
Okay. Higher doses, medical supervision. Got it. So did the niacin actually increase NAD+ levels in the patients?
Here's where it gets really interesting. The researchers discovered that niacin did boost NAD+ levels in both the patient's blood and muscles.
Okay.
They even found that initially the patients actually had lower blood NAD+ levels compared to healthy individuals.
Interesting.
But after niacin treatment, muscle NAD+ levels in both groups reached similar levels, suggesting there might be a saturation point.
So even though they couldn't push those levels indefinitely,
Right.
they were able to bring the patients up to a healthier level.
That's right.
Did that actually translate into any improvements for the patients?
They observed a slight increase in muscle strength,
Mm.
particularly in the abdominal muscles,
Okay.
in the patients taking niacin, but not in the control group.
Yeah.
It wasn't a dramatic change,
Yeah.
but it's a sign that things are moving in the right direction.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
So even though muscle NAD+ levels seemed to plateau,
Yes,
there were still some positive effects on strength.
correct.
Were there any other changes they noticed?
You're going to love this. They also found that liver fat decreased significantly in the patients,
Wow.
suggesting improvements in fat metabolism.
Okay.
And get this, the children of the patients who were showing some mild symptoms
Oh,
also experienced a reduction in liver fat.
so it wasn't just limited to the patients themselves?
Right.
That's pretty remarkable.
Right.
Did they see any changes in how well the mitochondria were functioning overall?
They did respiratory chain activity, which is basically a measure of how efficiently those mitochondria are working,
Okay.
increased in both the patients and the control group.
Okay. So it sounds like niacin is having a positive impact.
It does seem that way.
But was it a cure? Did it completely reverse the myopathy?
But not exactly. The underlying genetic cause of the myopathy remained. and so did some of the stress responses associated with it.
Okay.
However, when they analyzed the patient's metabolites, they found a fascinating shift after the niacin treatment. Their metabolic profiles were actually starting to look more like those of healthy individuals.
So even if they couldn't fix the root cause,
Right.
they were able to improve the overall metabolic landscape.
Yes.
That's got to be a big win for the patients.
Absolutely. By improving metabolism, they were able to create tangible improvements in the patient's lives, even without completely curing the underlying disease.
That's so encouraging. I bet Oscar is a great example of these improvements.
He is. After 6 years of niacin treatment,
Wow.
he's seen some incredible changes.
Hmm.
He can now bike long distances uphill
Yeah.
and even participate in demanding hikes, things that were impossible for him before.
Wow.
He's even noticed that he can adjust his niacin intake based on his symptoms,
Hmm.
which shows a clear link between the dose and his body's response.
That's an amazing turnaround.
Yeah.
It's inspiring to hear that he's regained so much functionality. But let's be realistic here.
Right.
Not everyone is going to respond to niacin in the same way.
Of course.
How can doctors even know who would benefit from this type of NAD plus boosting therapy?
That's a great question. And it leads us to a truly exciting development. One of the researchers in the same lab has actually developed a new blood test that can accurately measure all 4 forms of NAD plus as well as glutathione from just a single drop of blood.
That's incredible. No more invasive procedures, just a simple blood test.
Exactly. And to make it even more accessible, this test has been commercialized through a startup company.
Wow.
It's incredible to see how quickly this research is translating into real-world applications.
This is fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
So tell me more about this blood test.
Sure.
What makes it so special?
Their research showed that whole blood is the optimal source for measuring NAD plus levels, which is interesting because a lot of other tests on the market rely on plasma.
Yeah.
They also analyzed blood samples from Red Cross donors to establish a baseline for normal NAD plus levels across different age groups and genders.
Got it.
This means doctors can compare an individual's results to this reference range to spot any potential issues.
Okay.
And here's where it gets even more intriguing.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
They followed up with some of those healthy individuals who took high doses of niacin, similar to what was used in the patient study.
Yeah.
They discovered that some people only had minor changes in their NAD plus levels, while others experienced more significant drops.
So even healthy people react differently to niacin.
Exactly.
That really reinforces the need for personalized dosing, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation, and this blood test could be a game changer in personalizing NAD plus boosting therapies.
Okay, so we have this incredible blood test.
Yes.
And we know that personalized dosing is crucial. But is NAD plus boosting a potential treatment for everything under the sun? Should everyone be running out to get their NAD plus levels checked?
Hold on there.
No.
While NAD plus is crucial for cellular function and overall health, it's not a magic bullet.
Right.
Not all diseases involve altered NAD plus levels. Think of it like vitamins.
Okay.
You wouldn't start supplementing with vitamin D unless you knew you were deficient, right?
That's a good point. The tests don't guess.
Exactly. And the good news is that if low NAD plus levels are detected,
Yeah.
there are targeted interventions that can help.
Oh.
Whether it's NR-niacin or another NAD plus booster, the key is to address the deficiency directly.
This is all so promising.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, are there any other conditions where NAD plus boosting might be beneficial aside from mitochondrial disorders?
The research is still emerging, but there's growing evidence suggesting it might have potential for other conditions like degenerative disorders and even Parkinson's disease. It's a really exciting area of research with a lot of potential for improving human health.
Wow, this is all incredibly fascinating. It feels like we're on the verge of a major shift in how we approach health and wellness. Instead of simply managing diseases, we're starting to explore ways to optimize our cellular function and potentially prevent age-related decline.
You hit the nail on the head. It's a shift from a reactive approach to a proactive one. And it's not just about longevity. There's emerging evidence that NAD+ could play a role in protecting against various age-related conditions from cognitive decline to cardiovascular disease.
That's incredible. It feels like we're on the cusp of a new era in healthcare where we're moving beyond simply managing symptoms to actually addressing the root causes of aging and disease.
It's a paradigm shift, and NAD+ is at the forefront of this revolution. The more we learn about this remarkable molecule, the more possibilities unfold. It's a testament to the power of scientific inquiry and our innate desire to understand the human body and unlock its full potential.
It's mind-blowing to think that something as simple as boosting a molecule that naturally exists in our bodies could have such profound effects on our health and longevity.
It really speaks to the interconnectedness of everything within us.
Yeah,
By nurturing our cells and providing them with the resources they need to function optimally, we're essentially nurturing our overall well-being.
I love that analogy.
Right.
It's a reminder that true health isn't just the absence of disease. It's about cultivating vitality and resilience from the inside out.
You said it. And it's a journey, not a destination. We're constantly learning, evolving, and discovering new ways to support our health and thrive throughout our lifespan.
Well, this has been an incredibly eye-opening conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for the power of NAD+ and its potential to influence our health in such profound ways.
It's been a pleasure sharing this knowledge with you. Remember, knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
The more we understand about the intricate workings of our bodies, the better equipped we are to make decisions that support our health and longevity.
Before we wrap up, I have one last question.
Yeah.
What's next for NAD+ research?
Okay.
What are some of the areas that scientists are focusing on now?
Researchers are delving deeper into the specific mechanisms by which NAD+ exerts its effects,
Okay.
looking at its role in different cell types and tissues and exploring its potential in a wide range of health conditions. They're also investigating various NAD+ precursors and delivery methods to optimize efficacy and minimize potential side effects. It's a rapidly evolving field with new discoveries emerging all the time.
It sounds like there's a lot to be excited about. It's inspiring to see science uncovering such promising avenues for improving human health and well-being. This has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of NAD+. We've covered a lot of ground from the basics of how NAD+ works to its potential role in treating mitochondrial myopathies and even its implications for healthy aging. I'm sure our listeners are eager to learn more about specific NAD+ boosters and practical strategies for optimizing their levels. So let's take a quick break, and we'll come back for the final part of our deep dive.
That's good.
All right, see you in a bit.
See you soon.
Okay, I'm ready to learn more about those strategies for optimizing NAD+ levels. We've talked about how crucial this molecule is for our cells and how levels naturally decline with age. So what can we actually do about it?
Well, the good news is that there are several things within our control that can make a difference.
Okay.
Lifestyle choices, for instance, play a significant role in maintaining healthy NAD+ levels.
So it's not just about popping supplements.
Exactly. Regular exercise, a healthy diet that's rich in fruits and vegetables, and getting enough sleep. These are all foundational to supporting your cells and their NAD+ production.
Those were all things we've heard before, but it's good to be reminded that the basics really do matter.
Are there any specific foods that are particularly good at boosting NAD+?
There are certain foods that are naturally rich in NAD+ precursors, the building blocks that your body uses to create NAD+.
Okay.
Things like turkey, chicken, fish, dairy products, nuts, and seeds are all good examples.
So it sounds like a balanced and varied diet is key, which makes sense. But I'm sure many listeners are wondering about supplements. When are they necessary, and what should people look for?
Supplements can definitely be a useful tool, especially if you're not getting enough NAD+ precursors from your diet, or if you have a specific need to boost levels.
Okay.
Like if testing reveals a deficiency.
Right, like those folks in the study who saw improvements with niacin supplementation? Exactly.
What's important to keep in mind when choosing a supplement?
It's crucial to select high-quality supplements from reputable brands and to follow the dosage recommendations carefully. You don't want to overdo it.
Too much of a good thing can sometimes backfire, right?
Absolutely. It's always best to start with a lower dose and gradually increase it as needed, paying attention to how your body responds.
That's a great reminder that everyone is different. What works for one person might not work for another.
That's very true.
This brings us back to the importance of personalized testing and working with a healthcare professional.
You've got it. There's no substitute for personalized guidance when it comes to something as important as your health.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. We've been talking about NAD, plus mostly in the context of mitochondrial myopathies. What are the broader implications of this research? Could NAD+ play a role in healthy aging, or even help prevent age-related decline?
That's a question that researchers are actively exploring, and the findings are incredibly exciting. Remember how we talked about mitochondrial dysfunction being implicated in aging?
Yeah.
Well, some scientists believe that by boosting NAD+ levels, we might be able to slow down that decline and support a healthier lifespan.
So instead of just treating diseases,
Right?
We could potentially enhance the aging process itself.
Exactly. It's a shift from a reactive approach to a proactive one.
Mm.
And it's not just about longevity.
Right.
There's emerging evidence that NAD+ could play a role in protecting against various age-related conditions,
Okay.
from cognitive decline to cardiovascular disease.
That's incredible. It feels like we're on the cusp of a new era in healthcare where we're moving beyond simply managing symptoms to actually addressing the root causes of aging and disease.
It's a paradigm shift, and NAD+ is at the forefront of this revolution. The more we learn about this remarkable molecule, the more possibilities unfold. It's a testament to the power of scientific inquiry and our innate desire to understand the human body and unlock its full potential.
It's mind-blowing to think that something as simple as boosting a molecule that naturally exists in our bodies
Yeah?
could have such profound effects on our health and longevity.
It really speaks to the interconnectedness of everything within us. By nurturing ourselves and providing them with the resources they need to function optimally, we're essentially nurturing our overall well-being.
I love that analogy. It's a reminder that true health isn't just the absence of disease. It's about cultivating vitality and resilience from the inside out.
You said it. And it's a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
We're constantly learning, evolving, and discovering new ways to support our health and thrive throughout our lifespan.
Well, this has been an incredibly eye-opening conversation. I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for the power of NAD+ and its potential to influence our health in such profound ways.
It's been a pleasure sharing this knowledge with you. Remember, knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
The more we understand about the intricate workings of our bodies, the better equipped we are to make choices that support our health and longevity.
Before we wrap up, I have one last question.
Okay.
What's next for NAD+ research? What are some of the areas that scientists are focusing on now?
Researchers are delving deeper into the specific mechanisms by which NAD+ exerts its effects, looking at its role in different cell types and tissues and exploring its potential in a wide range of health conditions. They're also investigating various NAD+ precursors and delivery methods to optimize efficacy and minimize potential side effects. It's a rapidly evolving field with new discoveries emerging all the time.
It sounds like there's a lot to be excited about. It's inspiring to see science uncovering such promising avenues for improving human health and well-being. This has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of NAD+. We've covered a lot of ground, from the basics of how NAD+ works to its potential role in treating mitochondrial myopathies and even its implications for healthy aging. I'm sure our listeners are eager to learn more about specific NAD+ boosters and practical strategies for optimizing their levels. So let's take a quick break and we'll come back for the final part of our deep dive. All right, let's dive into the specifics of NAD+ boosters.
Okay.
You've piqued our curiosity with those hints about different precursors and delivery methods.
Right.
What are some of the front runners in the research right now?
Well, we've already talked about two key players.
Yeah.
Nicotinamide riboside, or NR, and niacin.
Yeah.
They've shown real promise in studies, but scientists are always on the lookout for ways to refine and improve these therapies.
So what's on the horizon? What are some of the other NAD+ precursors that researchers are excited about?
One that's gaining attention is nicotinamide mononucleotide, or NMN.
Okay.
It's another naturally occurring precursor to NAD+.
Mm-hmm.
And early research suggests it might be even more efficient at boosting levels than an error.
So is NMN going to be the next big thing in the NAD+ world?
It's definitely a contender, but remember, research takes time.
Yeah.
Scientists are still working to fully understand its mechanisms and long-term effects. We need more human studies to confirm its safety and efficacy before we can make any definitive claims.
That makes sense. It's always good to be cautious and wait for the evidence. Are there any other promising NAD+ precursors in the pipeline?
There are a few others being investigated,
Okay.
but it's still early days.
Yeah?
One interesting avenue is the development of synthetic NAD+ precursors, which are designed to be even more potent and targeted than their natural counterparts.
That sounds intriguing. So they're essentially engineering molecules to specifically boost NAD+ levels.
Precisely. It's a testament to the ingenuity of scientists and their drive to push the boundaries of what's possible.
It's amazing to think how far this research has come in such a short time.
Yeah, it really is.
We've gone from understanding the basics of NAD+ to exploring cutting-edge therapies that could potentially transform how we approach health and aging. What's the main takeaway for our listeners? What should they do if they're interested in optimizing their NAD+ levels?
The most important thing is to remember that knowledge is power.
Yeah.
The more you understand about NAD+ and how it impacts your health, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions.
So do your research, talk to your doctor, and find an approach that feels right for you.
Exactly. And remember, optimizing NAD Plus isn't a quick fix. It's about making sustainable lifestyle choices that support your overall health and well-being.
It's about that proactive approach we were talking about earlier, nurturing your cells and giving them the tools they need to thrive.
Absolutely.
It's been an incredible journey exploring the fascinating world of NAD Plus with you. Thank you for sharing your insights and expertise.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of NAD+. We hope you found this exploration informative and empowering. Remember, the future of health is personalized, proactive, and full of possibilities. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.